Hello and welcome to this edition of Tennessee Concrete Conversations. This is a podcast produced by the Tennessee Concrete Association. My name is Alan Sparkman. I'm the Executive Director for TCA. And my guest today is Julia Garbini, who is the
Executive Director of the RMC Research Education Foundation.
So Julia's a longtime industry person, been involved for many years, and has a great background, great knowledge about concrete, and really important to me, a passion for the industry. And I very much appreciate her leadership with the RMC Foundation. So Julia's going to tell us a little bit about some of the current things that are happening at the RMC Foundation that have an impact, I think a very positive impact, on everyone in the ready-mix concrete industry. So Julia, take it away.
Great. Thanks, Alan. I appreciate it. I'm very pleased to talk about the work of the foundation. And as you said, I really have a passion for concrete and the concrete industry, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been a wild ride for the last almost 30 years now, but a very exciting one. And I feel like we're really at a very pivotal and exciting time for the industry. Certainly there are challenges, but there are also huge opportunities for us. At the foundation, we like to say we're the science and credibility behind unified industry action. And really, the way we see ourselves is kind of a support organization. We really provide funding to do research and education to put ammunition into the hands of TCA, NRMCA, Portland Cement Association, American Concrete Pavement Association, individual companies, basically those of you that are out there doing advocacy, promotion, needing training of your workforce, we're excited to be able to fund those things that can help you advance your efforts.
One of the great things about all the material that the foundation produces is it's available for free for industry folks to use. And I think that's unfortunately a well-kept secret sometimes because there's such great information there. And it's supported by contributions from a wide swath of folks. Of course, TCA has been a contributor for many years, and I personally have contributed and would encourage anyone who's listening in the concrete industry to do the same, because the value of the information that you bring, the science and credibility, is critical for where the discussions are today.
Absolutely. We truly appreciate Tennessee Concrete Association support, your support personally, Alan. You've always been a tremendous supporter. We've got a whole host of individual companies, associations, individuals, even some family foundations that have all contributed. Kind of one of the beauties of the foundation is that we're formed as a 501c3 nonprofit organization. So that means that we're really organized like any charity you could think of, United Way, American Heart Association, what have you. So really the benefit there is it's a tax benefit to the donors, that all of the contributions that come into the foundation are fully tax deductible. But the other way that we're formed differently from Tennessee Concrete Association or NRMCA as an example, is that we're formed as an endowment. And basically that means that we're spending the interest income off the endowment to fund research and education on an annual basis. But we've built up this resource so that we kind of always have a steady stream of funding. That's important, especially with all of the cycles of the construction industry as well as the overall economy. It's great that we have this resource as a unified industry, that we can always invest in research and education no matter what the current climate is.
Yeah, it's very important, and I think a great success story for our industry over the last 20 or so years, to have the endowment where it is today and having that, everyday consistent funding for research and initiatives is just really, really important.
Yeah, I agree. And we're also, as you mentioned, so happy to be able to then provide those resources back free to companies. So we've got a whole host of education and research deliverables that are available on our website. You can access them for free, everything from recruitment videos to, again, training programs, and then research that supports many of the applications in the industry, newer applications, or things that you're going out and advocating for, like the sustainable benefits of concrete.
So tell us a little bit about some of the current research that the foundation is supporting right this minute, some of the projects that are out there.
Yeah, I would say the last couple of years, the two big areas of emphasis have really been on workforce and sustainability. Workforce, we all know everybody's got a driver shortage that I talk to in the industry. I don't think that's unique to any one area of the country. Almost everybody's feeling it pervasively. And quite frankly, there's a driver shortage across the country in all industries. So really looking at not just for drivers, other positions as well, but a very big focus on trying to look at how we can alleviate the driver shortage. So we've got a few new programs. One is we're actually funding through NRMCA the revamp of the Concrete Delivery Professional Certification Program, and we're going to be excited to launch that later on this year, which is going to be an interactive, more gamified format with updated information. So I think that's going to be of great value. We also have a program called Skate for Concrete, which includes 3 great recruitment videos aimed at entry-level positions in the industry. It also includes a high school certification and kind of a job connection as part of the website, and short reels and social media content. So that's been exciting. And again, that's not just drivers, but aimed at all entry-level positions within the industry and even in the concrete construction industry. It's actually connecting the skateboarding community to the concrete industry because so many skaters actually have a lot of the attributes that we think of people that are successful in our industry. People that love outdoors, people that don't want to be behind a desk, that are kind of free thinkers, problem solvers. And then, of course, skateboarders have a unique relationship with concrete between skate parks and pavements. So we think that that's going to bring a lot of success. We've actually partnered with the Tony Hawk Foundation. If anybody's familiar with Tony Hawk, his foundation is called the Skate Park Project. And they're partnering with us on it. And their production company filmed the 3 videos that we have on that website. So that's a real exciting partnership. And then the other thing on the workforce front that I'm really excited about personally is we've funded at MIT because MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, which many of you probably know we have a great relationship with on the sustainability side as well, but they're great at kind of systems approaches and logistics. And so we've actually funded them to take a look at how we can transform the role of the concrete delivery professional, kind of change the way that our industry does business because among driver alternatives that are out there, in many cases, we're the least appealing option. I mean, we have the highest level of requirements in terms of what we ask of drivers, and generally the least amount of flexibility when you consider that we're competing with Uber and Amazon, things that they can turn on and off at their own convenience. So MIT is taking a look at ways that we can enhance recruitment and retention, but also increase productivity to maybe reduce our demand for drivers, and also how we can change up the role potentially leveraging technology that's out there now, because there are so many technology advancements that are happening right now with digitization and automation. They're going to help us kind of see how we might be able to alleviate some of those responsibilities that we give to drivers, maybe some of the more unappealing parts of the job, and also maybe provide greater flexibility with scheduling dynamics.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to dig into the skate park connection. In fact, one of the winning entries in our annual Concrete Design Awards this year was a concrete skate park. And it was really cool because of the level of craftsmanship that it took to build the skate park. But I'm excited about digging into that and utilizing that and some of the things we're doing to try to help our Tennessee members with recruitment. So kudos for that. I think that's great.
Thanks.
What else would you like to kind of communicate about what the foundation is working on?
Sure. Well, I mentioned the other thing that we've really put a big emphasis on is sustainability. And so obviously a lot of the work that we're doing is kind of feeding right into the hands of groups like TCA, NRMCA with the Build with Strength program, as well as the Pave Ahead program, and really trying to support those arguments as we go out and talk to developers and owners, showing them how they can be more sustainable using concrete, looking at mixed design optimization, construction design optimization, and then also kind of educating their vendors and the people that they do business with. So we've really got a great amount of stuff that we're doing with the MIT Concrete Sustainability Hub, really across the concrete construction value chain. Again, that credibility that MIT brings gives a totally different level of respect for our arguments and the things that we're out there talking about, because it's truly scientifically based. So it gives us a lot of credibility when we're out there talking to, again, target audiences like developers, owners, non-governmental organizations, politicians, regulators.
And designers. A lot of designers, architects, engineers, for a variety of reasons, are really keyed in on sustainability.
Absolutely.
And that is you're talking to intelligent people who want that scientifically credible information as they make decisions. And the really good news, I think, for our industry is that the science supports our claims that concrete is one of the best, if not the best, building material for today, for resilience, for safety, for sustainability. But it's critical to have that scientific backup. It has to be more than just your opinion or my opinion.
Right.
So it's such a huge asset for our industry, and I'm so appreciative of all the work that's been done to bring that to us.
Yeah, and it's not just research. It's actually a lot of tools, too. So we can show decision makers what it means for their specific project using a lot of the tools that MIT's developed for us. And I think one of the other really unique aspects is that they've really honed in on being able to quantify the entire life cycle, including areas of uncertainty. So they've developed tools where, for example, if you want to see what it would mean for a project, but you have very little information about the project, because generally when materials are determined, it's very early in the process for a designer. So if they want to see what some of the biggest influencers over sustainability are for their project, the MIT work can kind of quantify some of that uncertainty so that design decisions could be made much earlier in the process, even with limited information.
Yeah, and that's just crucial for us as we compete in the future. I think that's more and more important, because decisions about materials like concrete are being made very early in the process. And once they're made and the design process proceeds, it's almost impossible to change because there's so much investment.
Exactly.
So even if people say, oh, yeah, it's great, I'd love to switch to concrete, if the project's already at past schematic design development, chances are it can't change because it's just too expensive.
Exactly.
So having the ability to bring that to the table early on is really valuable for design teams, and it's a huge plus to get us, ready-mix concrete producers, at the table at a time when we can have influence. So they're really, really powerful.
Absolutely.
So we encourage everybody to check those out and learn more about them.
Yeah, and I would say even on the back end, you mentioned resilience, and they've also been able to quantify on the back end for end of life, but also in terms of resilience aspects, avoided emissions with, if a structure doesn't stand because of a catastrophic event, well, what is the sustainability impact of all of the materials that you have to use for repair or replacement? They can calculate all of those avoided emissions as well, which again makes a big case for concrete.
And so I think you have a big announcement that you're going to make here. We're actually at ConAg at the NRMCA convention on the front end of ConAg. So, we're doing a remote broadcast here, but there's a big announcement, and I think Julia's going to preview that for us.
There is. You're going to get the sneak peek here. We are actually going to have a name change. We've actually approved a new strategic plan. And, of course, for 32 years, we've been the Ready Mix Concrete RMC Research and Education Foundation, and proud that we've been supporting the Ready Mix Concrete industry. But for a long time, a lot of work that we've been doing goes well beyond Ready Mix. Ready Mix is always going to be at the core of what we do, and it's always our roots. But with the MIT Concrete Sustainability Hub and some of the other workforce-related things that I mentioned that even go into the concrete construction side, certainly a lot of the work that we've been doing affects more of the industry beyond just Ready Mix. And I think the other thing is that a lot of the work that we're doing really benefits society. And by virtue of our nonprofit status, that was part of our mission always, was to support things that benefited the taxpayers of the United States. But at the same time, we want to make that really clear that concrete provides a great societal benefit. So our new strategic plan, at the heart of our goals, is going to be decarbonization of the industry, supporting and building resilient, affordable communities, and building world-class sustainable infrastructure. Those are going to be our 3 core goals. The MIT Concrete sustainability work is very much aligned with that, so that's going to still be a kind of a core focus for us as well. And our new name is going to be the Concrete Advancement Foundation. So we look forward to announcing that on Monday, and then there'll be a press release and a logo reveal, and everyone can see our new focus.
Well, that's great, and I appreciate you sharing that with us and our podcast listeners. So thank you very much.
Thank you
for spending a few minutes with us and for trying to help people understand the great resource that is there already and some about what's coming in the future. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Alan. Appreciate it.